Hello, today is Friday, August 5th, and this is your Zone 3B garden update. Yeah, my little patch back here is looking pretty good. I got all this volunteer dill that I just let go at the sacrifice of my melons, unfortunately, but yeah, it is what it is. But I got a ton of spaghetti squash and a decent amount of yellow zucchini. Some other zucchinis I've harvested out of here already. This one's been pretty hard to manage actually because it's got all these viners going into the weeds. But looks like it's going to be a lot of spaghetti squash. And what do you know? I added another garden bed. Of course, I took 2 away last year and put 3 in this year. So kind of takes away space from me parking my trailer, but I can park it over there. Yeah, it's 4 by 14. Got a little ledge for sitting on, which is nice. And yeah, it just seems gigantic to me, but what I plan on doing is I have all these lettuce seedlings still. And of course I don't have all the compost in here that I need. It was just kind of what I had left. But I think for now I'm gonna just plant lettuce in here. Probably not for another week or 2. I mean, maybe some because all my lettuce seedlings are still really small. But yeah, I mean, I've said from the beginning of this year it was going to be a good year for tomatoes, and my tomatoes are doing really good. They seem really healthy. And the corn too. I've had a couple, I think probably raccoons tearing stalks down. So we'll see how they recover. But yeah, here's I harvested out all my lettuce heads that were in here, planted some more. Been having some nice beans, pole beans anyway. And the bush beans were just terrible this year. Couldn't get them to grow at all. They just get decimated right when they come out of the ground. So yeah, some cucumbers there that are really slow. Yeah, I like this little trellis. It's not the best looking thing, but serves the purpose. And I harvested out all my onions that were in here, planted more lettuce. Been harvesting lettuce out of here. These are going to be the next to go. A couple more tomatoes here. Yeah, my little herb patch is doing good. After I cut out that cilantro, this parsley's just exploded, which is crazy. Lemon balm, mint. So this is a pretty good little patch here. And then I got this all lettuce, and it's all doing pretty good. I think it's kind of funny if you look, all the stuff, all the seedlings in the front are much bigger than the seedlings in the back, like towards the house. And I wonder if it has to do with the amount of heat up against the house. Lettuce, likes the cold. And this spot, because it's right up against the house, gets pretty hot. It might not be the best place, but I know that over here too, where I have these flowers, next year I'm going to put lettuce. And I'll do lettuce along the whole front because it doesn't get a lot of sun. And from what I can see, that's what the lettuce likes. Is this lettuce here in almost one of the completely shadiest spots of the house has just grown dramatically. I mean, it's been probably a week and a half since I put these in, and I can't believe how much they've grown. Where the previous ones I just showed you up against the side, they're hardly growing. But yeah, these are just doing great here. And then these few little onions that I had left that I was growing from seed, they're not doing good at all. I mean, these should be gigantic, but obviously they need a lot more light than the lettuce. And I thought I'd just take a peek in here too and show you. Ouch, just hit my head. Show you the lettuce seedlings here that I've got. Yeah, some of them didn't have great germination, but I think they're still germinating. I see a couple that just taking their time, I guess. So for the most part, I planted all my seedlings that were ready. Here's a couple in here that kind of had some sort of growth spurt that I could probably stick in that new garden bed. And then I got some broccoli here too. It's got, like this one here and some of these other ones have their first two true leaves, which I would say are ready to go in the ground. But my issue always is with brassicas is the flea beetles. If I put those in, they're going nowhere. So I'm going to wait. And next these are two beds I put in this year, which have turned out really good. This one I have tomatoes and carrots. Yeah, a lot of tomatoes. I've been, really pruning them a lot. And that seems to be the secret. I mean, I've got a lot of tomatoes here. Some are already ripening. So beginning August, that's kind of what you expect to see. In the next couple weeks, I should start to have some decent tomatoes. I've had this twine that I use to support them, though it's not super strong. I thought it would be better, but I've had a lot of these break and I've had to redo them. But yeah, the cucumbers are doing pretty good. These little bush picklers, or the picklers, are mainly what I have in here. I thought I had a bunch of different ones, but I'm guessing what it was is at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of wind and a bunch of my cucumbers snapped. And it looks like the stronger ones that survived here were the picklers. So yeah, here's a good example. This is I must have missed this one, but just like to tear these off and just keep it on one main vine. Because otherwise this is just going to weigh the whole plant down if I let those go. Here's another one. It's so hard to do with one hand. There we go. Done. But yeah, over here, for some reason, this is the third year for this spot, this long in-ground bed here. And I threw a bunch of good garden soil in here, and I was expecting a lot, and it's mediocre. It's just not amazing like I was hoping for. I mean, the only thing I can think of is if I spend like $2,000 and just put a bunch of really, good cow manure on here, like at the end of the year, have a big load of it delivered, because my trailer can only do, like one garden bed's worth. I mean, the peppers, the leaves are falling off. They're yellow. But anyway, yeah, so here's this. These peas have done really well for me this year, but I can't get any more to grow for some reason. Probably the heat. My bib lettuce here that's really slow going. And a couple four okra plant here that aren't doing very good. Looks like they're getting preyed on by something. My eggplant's seen better years, but you know, my peppers, this is probably the worst year I've had for peppers, at least here at my house. Like I've been harvesting off some potatoes already. I see there's one, I just cover that up, a red one. Yeah, as these plants kind of get yellow, I just rip them out, get the potatoes right away. Garlic is coming to an end too. One did fall over so far, and I pulled it, and it was just kind of a small one. But yeah, this is going to be some good garlic. Getting some nice broccoli crowns on these ones, thank God. Yeah, and then over here, my secondary pea trellis, I just can't get anything to sprout. I think it's just been too warm for them. I got a couple new methods I'm going to try to get the seeds to germinate. Here too, this is some lettuce I planted, some lettuce heads, it's romaine, and it's in a shaded area. I mean, it's, if you look like where you see the shade, that's where the plants are bigger. We're up here where it gets mostly sun, they're super small. So my just conclusion there is that, yeah, the lettuce likes a lower light shaded area versus direct sun. So we'll have to consider that throughout the next years. Lilies should be in bloom sometime soon here. They're getting some nice flower buds on them. This section of broccoli has just been really light. You know, it's all pretty much native soil in here with just some wood chips on top of it, and I just really need to do some enrichment if I plan on doing annuals here. The perennials do just fine, like the flowers and the rhubarb and some of the trees and stuff. But whenever I try to plant annuals, I mean, even here, this New Zealand spinach, this is how it always comes back. It's just yellow, like there's no nitrogen or something. So over the next years, I'm going to just really just focus on enriching the soil. Some good compost. The raspberries are looking really good. My volunteer, well, for the most part, all the volunteers have taken it over, but it was, I was going to try to keep all that contained to just back there, but it's really just encroached big time. I hope my cabbage does okay. I don't even know what most of this stuff is. Oh wait, here's something. It almost looks like a kabocha or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. But I mean, there's just so much in here. It was going to be just such a chore to prune it that I said I'll just let it go. But yeah, that's all volunteer from some compost that I was getting from work. And it's pretty crazy. Spin it around right here. Show you my carrots. A lot of these are definitely harvestable. These peppers are doing pretty good in here. So yeah, it kind of leads me to believe that soil up front is just not good enough. And I got a lot of beets. Definitely some harvestable ones. Oh, my spring mix, after much harvesting, it's really patchy. And still delicious though. But next year I plan on, this is $9 a pound, the organic market. And next year I plan on just growing spring mix like crazy. You can't beat that price where those lettuce heads are only $2. Yeah, so check these out. Pretty awesome. Look at that. Bigger than a softball. To keep a leaf over it though, so it doesn't get that sun scald. Yeah, some nice cauliflower this year. Holy smokes. Yeah, and then over here, like all this broccoli that I was expecting to have first, it just all bolted early in the year. And there's been a lot of stress from slugs. As much as I've been laying down Sluggo, it didn't really seem to be effective. In this little patch I've been developing, got some peonies. I threw in some extra squash. Thinking these are butternut. They seem to be doing really well here. And all this basil. Again, slugs have just kind of really been tearing up at a lot of it. You know, some of it looks weird, but it's still going to be pretty good, especially once I start cutting it and it just keeps coming back. So that's going to be over the next month where I really start harvesting this hard and it grows really fast. Yeah, and I had my compost pile right here, that my new one, and we've had this bear coming in the yard quite a bit, just tearing everything up. He wrecked my screen tent. He couldn't get the lid off a garbage can, so just tore a hole in the side. Kept ripping up my compost, so I'm not making compost right now until the bears are either hunted to oblivion or they go into hibernation. Yeah, that same bear came through and ripped like a big hole through the center of my strawberry patch, but I see it's coming back. And here I got a bunch more pole beans. Growing up the front of the shed. They're doing all right. The holes in this fencing weren't very narrow. They were pretty big, so I tied some string so that these things could climb up, and they're loving that.